What's up, y'all? It's your girl Amanda, and we are back with another episode of Thompson and Stuff. So we are in November. It's November 2nd. I can't believe we're in the last 2 months of the year. So this year, I feel like I didn't have a lot of motion. I didn't really do a lot. I didn't really hang out with my friends. I didn't, we just had Halloween and Christmas. I mean, Halloween. Halloween is like it's a fun time for me during the year where I can like dress up. I love dressing up for Halloween. Also, I love going to like the pumpkin patches and the haunted houses and the Halloween parties. Unfortunately, this year I was not able to do that, but there's always next year. I can't wait. But that's like my favorite part about Halloween. Everybody did a really good job. I saw on Instagram and stuff. Everybody did a really good job on their Halloween costumes. I saw a lot of Uncle Ruckuses. I saw a pimp named Slickback. I saw somebody be Franklin from Grand Theft Auto. I saw somebody be somebody. Mr. Jones from Friday, Craig's dad. Like people were just going all out for Halloween, and that's what I like to see. I understand we're like in a hard time right now. My heart goes out to anybody affected by the government shutdown, SNAP being delayed, and things like that. But that also showed me that you could use your resources and what you have in your closet just to be a funny character. As I stated before, my heart goes out to anybody affected by the government shutdown. And it's so weird to me how this works. So some people are furloughed. Some people got straight up fired. I don't know if furloughed and fired is the same thing. Help me out here. And then some people work for free, basically. And I got a question. Sorry, I had to take a drink. And y'all know what I share, what I like to have when I podcast. So right now I am drinking a smoothie with frozen blueberries, frozen mango mix from Sam's Club, and banana. Excellent smoothie. And I shout out to Ninja for making like the best invention ever, the Ninja smoothie maker. Didn't know we needed one until about a couple years ago. But back to again, my heart is being affected by the government shutdown. I just have one question. Okay, so postal service workers, right? From what I understand, there's two types of postal worker service workers. There's the people who work in the post office, the people that work with the public who wants to buy stamps and ship their stuff, and then the people who works like behind the wall. Okay, you got those. And then you got the people who are postal workers who walk up and down the street, putting mail in people's mailboxes all day long. My question is, do those people get paid, or do they work for free as well? Because I know people who work at the post office, but I don't know if I can't ask them directly because I don't know them like that. But just if you work for the post office, if please let me know in the comments anywhere you're listening to. You can DM me on Instagram. Are you guys like? Don't tell me how much you get paid or anything like that. Just tell me, are you affected to a point where you're not getting paid? That's all I want to know. So yeah, SNAP being delayed. SNAP was supposed to hit yesterday. Yesterday was the first Saturday, but unfortunately, with the government being shut down, the SNAP has been delayed. People did get notices that said, it's not gonna come the first because of the government shutdown. Which I think is really messed up because, a lot of people, it's the holiday season, it's the season of cooking and food and family and fellowship. And I think a lot of people do use their SNAP benefits to purchase the food they're going to use for Thanksgiving on the first, and then they put it in their refrigerators, which I think is just not, and just people not having that. It's not fair because I know, people love the holidays, and it doesn't matter if they have like SNAP or not. And people with SNAP, I know that they're probably crushed and they want to do something with their families and stuff like that. But at the same time, shout out to these major companies. DoorDash, it's another company. I forgot who, but I know for sure DoorDash is doing it. DoorDash, they're helping out with groceries, churches. Now, there was this debate on the internet. Someone said there's no major churches helping out with, this type of crisis. And the first person I thought of when I saw that statement was Pastor Jamal Bryant. Now, you guys don't know who Pastor Jamal Bryant is. He's a very well-known pastor down in Atlanta. He was married to Giselle from Real Housewives of Potomac. He said, I'll paraphrase it because what I saw on the internet. He said, "Don't bring money, bring food." I guess he's setting up like some sort of food pantry or something at his church. And churches are also following suit locally around here. People are utilizing food banks. And you know what I really like about food banks? I don't know, because I've utilized food banks a couple times. Like, I like the mystery of what you're getting in a food bank. Like, I know there's food banks that, give, they have this setup where you come and you get a card and you walk up and down the aisles, you get what you want, blah, blah, blah. Then there's food pantries who, give you a box. And you go home and you get to look through it and see what surprises are in there. And sometimes it's good surprises. Like one time I got a food bank box. It had those like sugar cookies with the frosting on it. And I don't understand why people don't like those cookies. They're the best cookies ever. But they had that. They had apple juice. Just a lot of my favorites. It was like, how did you guys know? But it's nothing wrong with food bank boxes. They are awesome. They hold you over. Sometimes you get like really big boxes and stuff. So if you listen to this, there's no shame in utilizing your food banks. Support your local food banks. Donate to your local food banks. And, all the words of encouragement I can just give y'all in a time of distress and I don't want to say disaster, but it is pretty sad that, our people can't get the help they need and our government workers are not getting paid and Donald Trump is just tearing down and building some big tacky ballroom that I have a feeling might not even be used, but it's just going to be big, tacky, and expensive, So my heart is with anybody affected by this crazy, crazy administration. I don't have a lot of words of encouragement, but it will be okay. And that it will be okay. Just hold on and it will be okay. So let's get into this episode. I don't want to dwell. I don't want to make nobody cry. Just know that we'll be okay. We'll be okay. But what I'm not okay about, and this has been like really devastating to me since I found out, I want to send a rest in peace to Dangelo. And I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, y'all. Like Dangelo, like one of my favorite R&B singers. I have 3 favorite R&B singers, maybe four, and one of them is Dangelo. I woke up, I think he died on the 14th. I was sleeping and I woke up and like I always do, I checked my phone for the news and I saw on the Variety Facebook page, Dangelo 1974 to 2005. Now, I didn't have my glasses on at first, so I thought it was one of those, one of those posts that are spam and they say like somebody died and they're not really dead, or somebody's pregnant and they're not really pregnant. Well, so once I put my glasses on, I saw that, yep, it was Variety. It was confirmed that R&B singer Dangelo has passed away. Whenever I think about Dangelo, I think about the time my dad went to go see Dangelo in concert. Now, Dangelo came out in 95. So this had to have been the 90s, and I couldn't go. I was 1, 2, 3, or 4 years old. He never told me the exact year. So I think this was before the pandemic. And my dad and my brothers and I, we went out to dinner one time. And my dad asked me, hey, what type of music are you getting into, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, I'm getting into Dangelo. And this was like probably 4 years after Black Messiah came out. And I was listening to that as well. And he told me the story of how he went to see Dangelo and something happened backstage. He excused himself from the audience. He went backstage. I don't know what, my dad didn't really go into like logistics and stuff, but my dad said he went backstage, took care of what was going on back there, and he came back and he blew the show out of water, basically. My dad had all D'Angelo's albums, yeah, so he was a D'Angelo fan as well. I knew about Dangelo as a kid because the How Does It Feel video used to come on a lot on TV. It wasn't like a cover your eyes moment. I mean, I saw the muscles and all that stuff, but what I hated was that he didn't like the fame. He didn't like the attention he was getting, from that video. And also there was some other songs on that album. I know Send It On had a video. I think Chicken Grease should have had a video. Spanish Joint should have had a video. I think, you know what? In reality, I think the whole album should have had visuals like Beyonce did, but that wasn't until like maybe 15 years later. Like that whole Voodoo album should have had visuals, like, because I just love that album so much. Now Brown Sugar, I like that album too, but I think Shit Damn Motherfucker, that should have had a video too. That should have been a short movie, that video, because it told like a crazy story of cheating, basically. That should have had a video. So it turns out D'Angelo had pancreatic cancer. We didn't know as his fans because, I guess he wanted to keep that private. What came out after he passed away was that he was actually in hospice for 2 weeks. His son with Angie Stone, I think his name is Michael as well, he was there with him. He also has two. So I really don't like that people say, oh, condolences to his son with Angie Stone, condolences. I mean, I get it, yeah, condolences to him, but he's not the only child D'Angelo had. He had a daughter. Her name is Imani. I see her on Instagram from time to time. She is so pretty and looks just like her dad. And then he also had a son by this lady. Her name is Tony. Recently, Tony had a interview with this one YouTuber. I don't know her very well, but she had about a 2-hour long interview with this YouTuber. I watched parts of it. I've seen parts of it on the internet. Tony seems like a really nice lady. So she was they had a son named Morocco. So if you're gonna say my condolences, please include all three. Don't just say to one, because I don't want anyone to feel left out. And also because of D'Angelo's passing, his music has been charting, which kind of confuses me, or I don't want to say like make me mad, because D'Angelo's music has always been popular amongst like I don't want to call D'Angelo underground, but like real music listeners, let's say that real music listeners would know if their D'Angelo playlist probably would have hit their top 25 on iTunes or whatever. But some people I feel like are bandwagoners, or maybe some people had just discovered D'Angelo, and it's like, wow, he's very talented. It's sad that he passed away. So those people are in there as well. But for me, shoot, I've known D'Angelo's music since I was a kid. Okay, I mean, Brown Sugar. I'm the same age as the song Brown Sugar. And when I tell you that song is played a lot on the radio here in Chicago, come on. Come on. Rest in peace, D'Angelo. We're losing our legends. It's a part of growing up and moving through life, but I hate that it's the legends we love so much. Yesterday they had his funeral. So he's buried somewhere in his home state of Virginia. Also, it's coming up. I did a Mandy's Entertainment reviews on Devil's Pie. That should be coming within the next few weeks, days. It just depends. I have to record it. So that was a good documentary, and I will give my my thoughts and my summaries through on there. But rest in peace, Dangelo. He was very handsome, even when he was a little huskier in the beginning of his career and at the end of his career. And he was fine when he, was muscular and how does it feel and all that stuff. But he was always, always, always a handsome man. So rest in peace to Michael D'Angelo Archer, Senior, because Junior is his son, Angie Stone. I also must say, rest in peace to Sam Rivers. So the name might not sound familiar to some of you guys, but if you are a Limp Bizkit fan like I am, he's actually I think he's the drummer. He's the drummer to Limp Bizkit. I love Limp Bizkit. I'm a big Limp Bizkit fan. Been listening to Limp Bizkit since the 90s. And Sam, I've always watched the videos, so I'm assuming, he was the one going crazy behind the drums. Just going crazy. So, rest in peace to Sam Rivers. Moving on from that, let's, on a lighter note, Kevin Federline is pissing everybody off, including me. Kevin Federline is pissing me off because he writes this little memoir, right? I know that man is lying through his long, shabby hair. So, for like a week, stories of him in this new little memoir is coming out. So, first thing I heard about this little memoir, Brittany will watch her kids sleep with a knife. If that ain't to sell books, I don't know what is. Because who the heck will watch their kids with a knife? I bet money this is a lie and Brittany was actually going to sleep after her kids was asleep. Y'all got to keep in mind, I'm not a mother, but I have cousins and friends who are moms. And I know when they tell me, oh, I put these kids to sleep, I'm ready to go to bed. I'm going to bed. Also, y'all got to keep in mind that Jaden and Sean, I think that's the other boy's name. Jaden and Sean are about, there's like a short gap between them. So with Brittany having them both, she was probably worn out. She was probably worn out. Oh, I want to go to bed. Ooh, these boys are wearing me out. That lady was not watching no children with no knife in her hands. Because if she was, and this generation, my generation and younger, because Sean and Jaden, they're about 10 years younger than me. I remember when Brittany was pregnant with them. And 10 years is 20. And the 20 to 30-year-olds, they're now learning how to speak out about their childhood traumas. Also, don't they be hanging around their mama anyway as adults? If Brittany has showed these crazy behaviors, they wouldn't want to be around her. That doesn't make sense. Also, Kevin Federline says drugs while pregnant and breastfeeding. Now I have another question. I don't work in the healthcare system. Now answer this. Wouldn't that be detected in any type of blood work or urine sample? Because after you give birth, you have to go to the doctor a lot, right? And Brittany, of course, she's Brittany. She goes on tour. She's active. She's a dancer. She's got to make sure her body's good. Wouldn't that be detected in some sort of blood work or urine work? Make it make sense, Federline. I just know this is all for a check because he's got a house in Hawaii. And we all know how expensive Hawaii is to live in these days. So I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I'm sorry. Next accusation. Kevin Federline said she called Justin Timberlake the night before their wedding. I don't believe that. Prime example. Y'all remember that TV show they had on UPN, Brittany and Kevin Chaotic or something. I think that's what it's called. And they were so in love from the little clips I saw. I never watched the TV show. for whatever reason, and I had access to UPN and all that stuff. Britney was too in love with that man to be calling no Justin Timberlake. And mind you, now I love Justin Timberlake. I love Justin Timberlake's music. I love Justin Timberlake since I was 5 years old. Didn't he write Cry Me a River as a diss song to Britney? I wouldn't want to deal with nobody who wrote a diss song about me and it went like quadruple platinum or whatever. No, I don't think that happened either. That didn't happen. And you know who came out to defend Britney? Not her mama, not her daddy, not her sister, not that brother Brian we never hear from. Her first husband, Jason Alexander. So if y'all don't remember Jason Alexander is the first husband who she married on a whim in Vegas. They were married for like 48 hours. And then they turned around and they got a divorce. That's her first husband. And he basically said, hey man, none of this is true. And that is a shame that the first husband had to come out from his normal life and defend her. But y'all know what? I didn't put two and two together. Y'all remember when she married Sam Asghari, right? First husband tried to attack the wedding. I guess now that I think about it, stop it, because he probably knew something we don't. So I'm not going to buy this book. I know this book is full of lies, and, you know, Kevin Federline is a has-been. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but he's a has-been. He's just looking for a check. Kevin Federline, he had a high, like he rode a high in like 2004 to 2007. That's when he was like popular and liked amongst the people, quote unquote. But this ain't it. This ain't it. And I ain't here. The book came out like maybe like 3 weeks ago. Now, who put out? Allen Iverson put out a book. Now, I know Kevin Federline is more popular than Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson is more popular than Kevin Federline. Don't quote me on that. I can't think straight right now. But yeah. But granted, Allen Iverson's book went on the New York bestsellers time in 2 weeks. I don't think this book's going anywhere. It's full of lies. It's not going anywhere. It's going to probably be at Barnes and Nobles with the other books, unauthorized biographies. Now, Kevin Federline wrote this book himself, but this book is going to bomb so bad. It's going to go on that one shelf in Barnes and Nobles with the unauthorized biographies of Michael Jackson, Elizabeth Taylor, and Frank Sinatra. Ain't nobody going to buy this book. Because 2 + 2 does not equal 18. Y'all tell Kevin Federline I said that. Moving on from that. Ariana Bierman and Hudson. If you guys watch Next Gen NYC on Bravo, Ariana and Hudson, they broke up. Now, why they broke up, I can't say exactly, but they gave out that generic, I think it's what's best for us. But I was reading the comments on Instagram one day, and they said that they didn't want Kim Zolciak sucking their money up or whatever. That's what the Instagram said, not me. Because I did watch the show and I saw some instances of Ariana saying, you know, her mom stole her money. Hudson was like, don't give her any money. Just stop, you know, just basically stop enabling her and all that stuff. So that whoever that person said in the Instagram comments, I kind of believe you. Because we all know that Kim Zolciak did kind of hit hard times. She did divorce her husband, Croy Bierman, and all that stuff. So I hate that happened because Ariana moved to New York with this guy. So she's probably, I think, because Next Gen NYC has actually been renewed for a second season. So that's probably her storyline for the show. I just hate that she moved to New York with her boyfriend and they split up. And now she's got to go through life by herself. But you never know what the future may bring. They might get back together. Who knows? Who knows? Moving on from that. Rolling Stone merges with Vibe magazine. And also, I made a note that Datwan, I think Datwan, is that his name? He's also involved in. Datwan has been with Vibe magazine for a long time. Now, this merger, Rolling Stone with Vibe, both are equally older publications. Rolling Stone's been out there since the 60s. Like, my father told me he used to read Rolling Stone as a teenager. He's 70 years old. So, yeah. So, it's, I think, what's going to happen now, Rolling Stone has always covered black artists, but I think they're going to just cover more black artists. It's kind of probably going to have like a vibe feel in Rolling Stone. I think that's what's going to happen. You're probably going to open a Rolling Stone magazine because Rolling Stone is actually still on the stands from what I remember. I mean, I haven't been to a magazine stand. The only good magazine stand I go to, well, it's not like a magazine stand like on the corner like in New York City. Myers has a really, really good magazine section. And the last time I was in the magazine section at Myers, they did have all the magazines. And I think I did see Rolling Stone. So I think what's going to happen is like you open a Rolling Stone magazine, it's going to probably look like Vibe magazine. And Vibe magazine hasn't put out a physical publication since 2014. It's probably going to be Vibe meets Vanity Fair meets Rolling Stone. It's just going to have like this fusion of pop culture to the next level. That's what I think. Moving on from that, Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna, are they back together? You know, I look back at watching Rob and Chyna. The reason why Chyna was, kind of all over the place to me is because she was pregnant. But now that she's not pregnant and she has her kids and stuff, I think Rob Kardashian and Blac Chyna, I think they'll do great this second time around. The hormones and stuff are not there. So, and Rob Kardashian, I know he's a recluse now, but he always seemed like a nice guy as he got older. Hold on. Don't be like, man, you can't say that guy was an asshole in the earlier seasons. He was in his early 20s. But as he got older, I think he's calmed down since then. So, good luck to Rob and Angela, I should say. Not Chyna. She doesn't like to be called Blac Chyna. So, good luck to them. They have a daughter together, and I guess they're getting back together for the sake of the family. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Jennifer Lopez said her first husband said she cheated. And you know what's crazy? I wonder, because Jennifer Lopez keep getting divorced and stuff. Did she cheat on her other husbands too? Is that why she kept getting divorced? Or did she have like an emotional affair with someone and then she came back to her husband and was like, I can't do this. Is that why she kept getting divorced? Like, I'm curious about that. But that's a wild accusation. If she didn't, that's a wild accusation. And then he's the ex-husband. Why is he's sitting up there talking about her? Like, doesn't he have anything else to do besides talk about who his first wife was? She probably don't even think about that man. She don't. Probably walk up to her and say, did you hear what your her first husband said? My who? Who's that? I don't know who that is. And on good and well, you know who your first husband is. But the only person she'll probably deal with, or the only husbands, is Mark Anthony because they have kids together, and Ben Affleck because they actually did a movie together. So she probably ain't even thinking about that man. She ain't thinking about that man. So I'm just going to move on from that. If you guys are a Bravo fanatic like me, Shahs of Sunset, Mercedes Javid, she filed for divorce from Tommy. Now, if y'all I saw every episode of Shahs of Sunset. I was gonna say Selling Sunset, but we gonna talk about them in a minute. I remember when Mercedes, she was dating all these guys in the beginning of Selling Sunset. Then she met Tommy. Then she was getting married to Tommy. I remember when she was getting married and doing all that stuff for her wedding. Then they had a baby. Then they had a podcast I used to listen to, but it kind of got boring after a while. But now I guess they're getting a divorce. And it's strange because she always seems so in love with Tommy. Like, why is she divorcing Tommy? Did somebody cheat? Did somebody just give up on the marriage? This was a shock to me when I heard that she filed for divorce from Tommy. Like, dang. That's sad. Will that be covered in the new show? Because y'all know they got another show with Bravo, but it's not called Shaw's of Sunset. It's called something else. And they named it after another show. I announced it on here, but I can't forget. I mean, I can't remember. See, I'm tired. Something's wrong because I'm getting tired or something. But yeah, they're getting a divorce. Will that be the storyline for her new show on Bravo? They seem so in love. But then again, like I always say when it comes to these celebrities, we don't know these people. We don't know these people at all. So we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Moving on from that, we got, last episode I said the Diddy circus is over, but I guess not. There was some drama between the White House and TMZ. Now this is how you know we almost living in a near end of days, because why is the White House, the Capitol building of our United States of America, why are they beefing with somebody like TMZ? So TMZ put out a story that said Diddy is filing for an appeal and mentioned getting commuted from Trump. White House put out a statement and said, no, that ain't happening. We ain't hear we ain't hear nothing about that now. Oh, no. But TMZ put out a story. Well, no, y'all know, if y'all read TMZ, you know how they have like the original story and then they'll say updated at the same day, but at a later time. The TMZ put, we stick with our story. I was like, what? What? Wait. You stick with your story? Like, this is my story. I'm sticking. Like, they were doing that professional. I'm like, oh no. Like, this is, like, the White House has bigger things to worry about. You know, I have bigger things to worry about than some stupid TMZ story. So yeah. Yeah, that came out. So then, a couple of days later, a story came out that one of Diddy's friends went to visit Diddy in jail, and Diddy told the friend, Charlucci, I don't know what kind of name that is, but Charlucci, that his throat almost got slashed. Well, I don't know what to say about that. Luckily he is alive and he kind of escaped the situation, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. And you guys remember a couple podcasts ago, maybe the last podcast, I stated that I heard that he was going to Fort Dix, and then the next podcast I said I don't really know where he's going. Turns out he really is going to Fort Dix, or he's at Fort Dix as of now. There's a picture of him. He put on some weight. I mean, that's what happens when you go to jail. You got to eat like the sodium filled food. Because y'all remember when Chris Brown went to jail, he came home a little huskier. But because he's Chris Brown and he's such a great dancer and he's in, you know, this is what he do to get in shape, the weight eventually came off, right? So I guess, well, Diddy is a dancer, but he hits it. He's the king of two-step, if you will. So he'll probably two-step some weight off or whatever. But he's at Fort Dix. There's a picture of him just smiling and talking to other dudes at the jail. And probably those dudes probably don't even know what it's like to talk to a celebrity. Well, y'all got Diddy. Enjoy him. And, well, I think things be the same when he come home. If that's his case, that will be a long way to go for him to get back to where he was before he went to jail. Because y'all got to keep in mind, Diddy was on top of the world. Had yachts and shit. He was a very wealthy man. Now, is he still wealthy with him being behind bars? I don't know. I heard that his assets are frozen. I don't know how true that is, but it's going to take him a long time to get back to where he was, um, like probably like in the 2000s or 90s. It's going to take a while. And also he's doing laundry, so he'll probably learn how to like wash some clothes or something. Let's see what else is going on. Tyler the Creator, everybody's mad at Tyler the Creator because of some old tweets. Y'all didn't listen to Tyler the Creator back in like 2011 when he first came out, when he used all those slant slurs and stuff. Like, he's been like this. Like, where have y'all been? I remember when I was in high school. I was 16, and everybody wanted to dress like Tyler the Creator. In lockers, in my high school we had long lockers, and I remember somebody I knew had like, what is it, Ogflaw or something. I think that's the name of it. I'm not a Tyler the Creator fan. Like, I'm not crazy about Tyler the Creator because, you know, his aesthetic doesn't match my aesthetic, if you will. But he's been using those words. He's been like that. I don't understand why y'all mad. Why? I just look at y'all outrage and be like, where were y'all in 2011? You know, like, that's weird. Y'all are fake outrage. That's all, fake outrage. Let's see, I'm not going to do that story. Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier arrested by the feds on illegal gambling probe. Now, I don't know much about gambling probe. I went to the casino for the first time at 30 years old about a couple months ago. I don't know nothing about gambling, so I'm not going to try to break down the gambling part. I know Chauncey was they say that Chauncey was dealing with the mob. That part I'm confused about. Why would the mob have something to do with Chauncey Billups? And I've been waking up every day the past 2 weeks like, Chauncey? Chauncey, are you sure? Chauncey got a beautiful wife. He's got 3 daughters. He's a family man. He's from Denver, Colorado. He's a head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. Are y'all sure y'all got the right Chauncey? No, don't y'all mean punk ass Chauncey from the game? Is that who y'all want? Because Chauncey Billups, are you sure? And connection with the mob, are you sure? And gambling pro, are you sure? I don't know. It's just something don't feel right to have Chauncey Billups in there. Now, Terry Rozier, I don't know who that is because I stopped watching the NBA after I turned 22 years old. I don't know who's over there no more. But Chauncey Billups, huh? Are you sure? Like, I can't wrap my mind around that. Chauncey Billups? Something just don't feel right. And then people started making the connection. Because remember, Gilbert Arenas was arrested because he was having like a gambling ring at his house. But I wouldn't see how what Chauncey and Terry would have something to do with that, because I would assume they weren't there. Or is it just it's probably just, I don't know. Okay. A part of me, now that I think about it, a part of me thinks that this is probably some big gambling ring that is spreading from coast to coast in the NBA, probably international as well. But Chauncey, like, are you sure? What about a Chauncey Brown? Is that who you looking for? Like, Chauncey Brownton or Chauncey Brown? I don't know, but Chauncey Billups? Are y'all sure? And then they said Chauncey Billups had an X-ray table for gambling. I'm like, how do you get one of those? I've heard of loaded dice. Never heard of X-ray gambling tables. That's insane to me. But I think that's not what might happen is, this big gambling ring is going to be exposed. And it'll date back to Tim Donaghy. But Tim Donahue, he already served his time. So we going to leave Tim out of this. But I think they're going to expose a big gambling ring. And I would be surprised if, that came out. But I'm going to move on from that because it just makes my blood sugar rise. Chauncey Billups? Are you sure? Are y'all sure? All right, fine. Okay, Verzuz. Let's get into Verzuz. Did anybody see Verzuz? I saw Verzuz and I had a ball as if I was there myself. So Verzuz was No Limit versus Cash Money. And I know I'm getting old because I might as well have said my childhood. The whole thing is my childhood. Again, I tell this story all the time. Before MTV2, it was the box where you could call in and order a music video for like $2.99. Again, not doing that. Was not doing that on my grandmother's house phone bill. So I remember watching No Limit videos. I remember watching Cash Money videos. Back That Ass Up had heavy play on the box. Silk the Shocker, It Ain't My Fault with Mystical. Master P, Mia X, when Snoop Dogg was on No Limit. I remember all those videos being played on cable. It was a great show. They didn't perform all my songs though. They didn't perform Thinking About You. They didn't perform Ha. They didn't perform, what did they not perform? You Understand? Or did they perform You Understand? They performed a lot of good stuff, but there were just certain songs that we were all just disappointed we didn't hear. But it was still a great show. It's just, they had it in Vegas, and I was watching, like, the live stream. They live streamed it on Apple Music, but I watched the live stream through Verzuz Instagram page. So I didn't watch it on the TV. I watched it on my phone. But from what I saw, like, the audience looked young. Like, there were kids in the audience, like kids born in 2011. There were kids in there. They probably didn't understand what was going on, the history in there. But when I'm at home having a good time, reminiscing on watching these videos on cable, on one TV with all my brother and my cousin in the room. Birdman showed his butt. Shading the heck out of No Limit unnecessarily. Why are you shading No Limit? It's a musical celebration. You don't need to shade nobody, Toni Braxton's husband. Please. Jeez. What else? Random faces that were in attendance. All right, so we have one, Jacquees. Now, granted, I understand that Jacquees is signed to Cash Money. Also, keep in mind that Jacquees' music did not come out until I was like in college or high school, and Jacquees and I are about the same age. I don't recall watching Jacquees on the box. I don't recall watching Jacquees on 106 in Park in the early 2000s. Why are you here? You didn't perform any of your music, but I get it. You're here to support Birdman because, you're like the new Lil Wayne or whatever, and, you guys are close. Okay, fine. Number 2, Kelly Price. So I was like, what the heck is Kelly Price doing here? Kelly Price worked with mostly Bad Boy back in the 90s. What does she have to do with Cash Money and No Limit? Well, it turns out she is friends with Mia X, so she was there to support her friend Mia X, which I thought was a nice thing once I found out what it was really for. And lastly, Tamar. Now, before y'all get up in open arms, please remember that Tamar Braxton is Birdman's sister-in-law. He is married to her older sister, Toni Braxton. That's her husband. And from what I was told, that Tamar was there to make sure that her brother-in-law doesn't, get out of hand. Yes, she wiped the sweat off his head. I didn't see a problem with it. I'm assuming Toni didn't see a problem with it. And plus, they said that they were friends since the early 2000s. All right, as long as his wife don't have a problem with it, I'm not going to make a big fuss about it. Another thing that I noticed about Verzuz is that there is no Lil Wayne. Because Lil Wayne, yes, he had a big part of Cash Money back in the 90s during that time. BG went on The Breakfast Club and said that Lil Wayne was not feeling good. But I think BG is also saying that to save face, because I heard he had a concert in Vegas, probably like down the street or something. But I guess everybody should go by what BG say for the sake of argument. Everybody looked good. Everybody looked healthy. Some people look like, they didn't age at all. Some people look like they did get a little older. There is this new wave of younger women crushing on Big Boz, Anthony Boswell, who is Master P's right-hand man. And they were like, oh my God, he was so fine back in the day. And Big Boz he used to do No Limit concerts with no shirt on, and he just went out there with no shirt on. So, hey, whatever helps you feel young, go right ahead. But yeah, there were like women still, because they probably did have a crush on him back in the day. And then there was like new women who'd be like, oh my God, who's that? He's so fine. But Boz did his thing out there. Prayers up to Young Bleed. He did the song How You Do That there with No Limit. Turns out he was there at the Verzuz, but then he had to go to the hospital after. I think he had like a brain aneurysm or something. So prayers to him. And also Mercedes, calm down. So Mercedes is a singer, rapper with No Limit, and she did the song I Can Tell with Mac. And Mercedes was at the Verzuz, and she went on her Instagram, was like kind of upset that she couldn't perform the song with Mac. But Mac went on the internet and said, she wasn't contractually, obligated to do that. And then once a couple days, everything died down, Mercedes got back on her camera and said, you know what, I'm sorry. And, bridge over water. So that happened. But I did enjoy this Verzuz. Who do I want to see next in Verzuz is DJ Quick and DJ Battlecat, the Battle of the West Coast. Now, we already had like similar situations, from this side of the country, music from this side of the country, but we need a West Coast bass versus, and that's why I say DJ Quick versus DJ Battlecat, or DJ Quick versus Daz Dillinger. I know they're all friends, but it's just would really be nice to have that. So moving on from Verzuz, gonna take out some stories here. Nelly Furtado is no longer performing. So I think Nelly Furtado is retired. And I get it because a plethora of reasons. One, maybe she's just not into it anymore. She's a mom of 2 kids. She wants to be home with her kids. 2, there was literally no money in recording music or making music. And, with the economy and stuff, there's barely going to be money in touring. So Nelly Furtado, is nothing wrong with you wanting to sit down and be a mom and be retired. So we wish you the best of luck and all that good stuff. Suge Knight was spotted in prison, so they had like this program in the prison he's in. He looks healthy. He looks like, he's taking his diabetic medication and all that stuff. He's still wearing the sunglasses and all that. But they said he didn't have any bottom teeth. I didn't really notice that because, people can hide their bottom teeth very well. So, but he looked healthy. He looked good. I ripped my top to my highlighters. Selling Sunset, the new season. This is what I wanted to rush and get to because I just watched season 9 of Selling Sunset, and let me tell you, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. For the way Mary was acting, for the thing Nicole said about Chrishell's parents. I think it's basically those 2. So Chrishell and Nicole. Oh, and Emma Hearn, she was dating this young dude from Atlanta who who said he likes racial slurs and says he does not believe in pronouns. And everyone knows that Chrishell is married to G Flip, who is non-binary and does not use pronouns. So I guess she took great offense to that for her spouse. And it's just weird if you are grown and you openly admit you don't believe in using or you don't believe in eating vegetables, or and you use racial slur. If you don't eat vegetables, dude, I would hate to know what your like inside smell like. And you eat chicken fingers and mac and cheese, and you're from Atlanta. Oh God, that's terrible. Yeah, so if that's offensive, Emma, and like Chriselle is your friend, you might have to reevaluate that relationship and be around and bring positive people around, Also with Nicole, she told Chriselle, don't get me confused with your parents, because Chriselle's parents, they're both passed away, but when they were here, they were drug addicts. Low blow, because you don't talk about nobody dead parents, kids, relatives. You don't do that. Like, that's common freaking sense. So, like, Nicole ended up being fired from the Oppenheim group. Was it Oppenheimer? The O group. Let's just say that, the O group. And then I think with Mary and Chelsea and Bree, I was so disappointed. And I wanted to, be there to defend Chelsea with my own mouth. Chelsea, so in this season, Mary got robbed at her house, right? And Chelsea decided to, do a kind gesture and send her flowers and, hey, I'm sorry what happened, thinking of you, praying for you, whatever. But all of a sudden, Mary want to turn up and act like, oh, she's sending me flowers on camera, blah, blah, blah. She sent me flowers while camera was rolling. First of all, when somebody send you something, how are they supposed to know they at your house filming? Did we think about that? But now she want to turn up and all that stuff. And then they all had dinner and Mary turned up on her. It was just so cringeworthy to watch. It was so cringeworthy to watch. And I liked Mary. I read her book. She wrote a autobiography and all that stuff. I read it, bought it. No, they got to do some restructuring over there on Selling Sunset, because it just, and the more I think about it too, it just makes me cringe. It really makes me cringe. And I'm just disappointed. Like, normally when I watch Selling Sunset, I when I finished the season, I'm like, no, I really enjoyed that scene. That was a nice season. I really enjoyed, I like what they had on them houses were beautiful, but nope. I was disappointed in what I saw this season. So either they restructure, make some spinoffs or something, but I never want to see that from Selling Sunset ever again. And that's so Mary had a little lamb. And the last story, before I get myself worked up over something that has nothing to do with me. Ridiculousness is officially canceled at MTV after 46 seasons, they said. About time, because I'm tired. I don't watch MTV when I'm at home, but when I travel and I go to a hotel and they have MTV, that's all they play is Ridiculousness and Catfish and Teen Mom. I don't want to see nothing about Teen Moms. Catfish, at this point with all this technology, if you don't ask for a FaceTime or something, okay. Yeah. You got to get up on technology. And Ridiculousness, it's so many videos I could watch of somebody cracking their nuts on a steel pole or something. Like, come on. And I think with this, I hope MTV takes time to restructure, get back to the music. They already canceled Catfish. They're taking off Ridiculousness. Get rid of Teen Mom, because don't nobody need to see teens get pregnant at 16, 17, 18, 19. Like, come on. Restructure MTV, bring some music shows, bring back Behind the Music or something. That's what we want to see on MTV. Music television, not Ridiculousness, Catfish, and Teen Mom. Okay? Okay. All right, y'all. So I got a lot of Mandy's Entertainment Reviews episodes to record. So I just wanted to sit here and drop in and talk to y'all. And thank y'all for listening and your patience. And there's going to be so much more coming out. So let me get to work and I will talk to y'all later. Peace.